Hi, Lee Farnell here, and we're talking about leading your best life. And today I want to talk to you about something that's super important if you run your own business, but not even if you run your own business, just living your life, how important this principle is. Get ready. Well, what I'm talking about here is something that was brought top of mind just last Saturday morning when, I'd gone swimming and then taken the grandkids to a coffee shop near where my daughter lives in East Fremantle. We went there and I just couldn't believe how rude the person was who was taking our order. Gruff, grumpy, transactional, and I'm just going, what are you, mate? We've come here actually 3 or 4 or 5 times, and not that he needed to know us, but just realizing that, well, we're human beings. It's not just a transaction. The guy was just so gruff and, what do you want, blah, blah, and just grumpy attitude. Now, as the Indians say, everybody has a vibration. Everybody has a vasana, a perfume that you put out. And if you're in hospitality, then you need to literally be hospitable. How hospitable are you? What I'm talking about here is that old principle that says you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Now, what we know about memory is people remember first and last impressions. And what is the energy you put out? Now, when you're in the business of hospitality or in so many different businesses, just because you're dealing with 200 people a day doesn't mean you start treating people like numbers. And often you deal with, large events and they start talking to people as PAXs, PAXs. You're a PAX. And then they even have a whole range of other names for customers who we've got to remember are human beings, and each human being actually lives inside their own mind and their own body, and in most cases they actually I believe I'm not a bad person, that we're actually both doing each other a favor. You're giving me some breakfast and I'm giving you some money. The Chinese have a proverb, person who cannot smile should not open shop. You've got to like people. Now, as life went on in this particular day, we then took note of when regulars came in. G'day Mary, g'day Beryl. This particular fellow spoke to the regulars like they were old friends, yet to new people it was gruff and impersonal. Now, it says as much about that person in terms of them, that what's going on inside them. The old story, what do you get when you squeeze an orange? Well, you get what's inside the orange. So what do you get when you squeeze a human being? You get what's inside the person. So if they're under stress, carrying a lot of shit in their system, then the slightest bit of stress and that comes out, which again is why you want to make sure you're doing things like meditation, you're doing things like exercise, so you're not as triggered by whatever rubbish or event is going on in the external world. Get control of the internal world. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. What energy are you bringing to that first 30 seconds? I've got to say, James Sutherland, one of the fellows that founded Lifter with me, he is a master of showing up with great positive energy. I'm saying that sometimes I'm not so good at that. I got to say, whether you're a bit tired or whatever. And so, again, I've got to work on myself in terms of managing my energy and being conscious. This is what we say, being conscious of the energy you bring to that first 30 seconds. People remember first and last impressions. We talk about the R factor system. R, the relationship, the strength of the relationship is frequency times quality of contact. Frequency times quality of contact, where quality is friendliness times value. Friendliness. How friendly are you? Are you putting out the I like you vibe? I like you. I'm going to find reasons to like you. As distinct from I'm busy, there are a whole lot of people in the queue. Hurry up and pay me so I can get on to the next person, because I've got all these people I've got to deal with. That's what we call first impression. First position in NLP. Looking at it from your own point of view, coming from through your eyes, as distinct from, hang on, this person is a guest in my place, in my restaurant. In fact, we do work with the Italian the Italians in running restaurants, they go, well, you're in my home. My restaurant is like my home, and so I want you to feel welcome in my home. I want you to come back here time and time again. I want you to have a good time. I want you to associate being here with fun, enjoyment, feeling welcome, so that you come back and you tell your friends about it, because we have a good time when you're having a good time. Clearly this guy was not like that. But as it worked out, when we had finally left the place, luckily my wife had gone to the ladies and I was waiting at the front with the two kids. He came out and said, oh, you forgot the water bottle. It's like, wow, well, that was nice. He, in many ways, saved the day, because it was the last impression that I then remembered rather than the first impression, even though it's a great teaching point. And you say, what's that got to do with someone in a career? Well, what's the energy you bring to your meeting? What's the energy you bring to problem solving? What's the energy you bring to a job interview? What is the energy you are bringing? Bring positive energy. Bring I like you energy. Bring I want to help make your day energy. We call them touch points. This is where the quality of the contact, friendliness times value. How friendly are you? You can offer value, but if you're a grump, I'm still going to remember. What's the emotional experience? As Kath Sutherland, James's wife, who deals with brand energy, she talks about what is the emotional after effect. What do people remember you for emotionally? And of course, you can be conscious of that. Don't leave it to chance. We want to do some more work on that. Touch base with us. Get our information on the R factor. We'll give you some meditations on it as well to take a look on the inside. Lower the trigger point and be conscious about leading your best life. And how do you do that? By helping others lead their best life and bring good energy to any situation. Hope that helps, so that your first and your last impressions and the impressions in between are all based on kindness, friendliness, helping people, adding value. Thanks for listening. I'm Lee Farnell.